Hello everyone, welcome to another Hot Players Debating Hot Topics. I'm here with Mr. Jack Harpster as Bradley is unavailable.
Yes. Which is your favorite hot topic?
Honestly, there's one in an international mall in Tampa, Florida that has a really good selection of pop culture t-shirts, and that is my favorite Hot Topic.
There's one in Midtown I'm a big fan of.
Oh, really? I actually haven't been to a Hot Topic in Tallahassee.
Really?
One day we will go there and live rank Hot Topics. Brad Chester totally could have been on this. Brad, you are marked as unavailable today. If you want to join, you can call my phone, and I'll hold it up and press cancel. That's the most you're getting. Oh, Lyle Dixon is in the chat. Brad is both the Beefmaster and the Trash Man.
What?
Apparently, Brad is just Danny DeVito.
He's Danny DeVito? That makes sense. Yeah, I mean, we get up to some nonsense and Fix My List.
Yeah. I mean, I heard you even stooped to lows to talk about Space Wolves.
There were a lot of Space Wolf lists that people submitted. I don't know what it is about Space Wolf specifically, but everyone's into them wolves today nowadays.
Everyone's into the
I was
wolves?
going to say something else, but
Everyone's into the wolves.
everyone's into the wolves.
Sometimes that happens.
Way. Yeah.
So if you're watching this and you're curious where we're going to get these questions and conversations from, they're from the Art of War Discord. So if you haven't already, give this video a like, a share, subscribe, all of the good buttons. Press them, please. And if you want to become a member of our wonderful community, you can either go to our website, theartofwar40k.com, or check it out below and just become a member on our YouTube channel. That'll give you access to our very friendly, welcoming Discord. And that's where we're getting these questions from.
All right.
So if you have any questions live, though, feel free to hit us with a super chat or tag us in that Discord if you're already a member. We'll see what we can get to you. All right, are you ready for this?
Oh, that is true, Grotworks. I did actually like that list. The Space Wolves Brigade. Yes, you heard that correct.
Space Wolf Brigade is a special kind of madness, I think.
John can tell you. I came out of that Fix My List, and I was like, Nick.
You were looking for Nick after that. So, you ready? You hyped?
Yep.
All right, let's do it. So, dun dun dun. Oh, you know what? They knew there was a Blood Angel player in the chat today. So the very first question is, it's a little bit on topic, disappointingly. Question from Kane. Does building around Fury of the Lost solve some of the Blood Angel problems in this metagame?
I don't think it necessarily solves problems, just because I don't know if Blood Angels really have that many problems that need to be solved. But it is a good secondary. It's a build around, for sure.
Yep.
It just relies on you taking like 3 units of Death Company, probably a Death Company character of some description.
Lamartez?
Team England is taking Lamartez. I'm not a huge fan personally, but he's aight. But what's up?
I was gonna ask, because you can make characters Death Company. Is that points, command points? How
Points.
does it?
And they made it
Points.
cheaper, actually. I believe in Nephilim.
Oh, cool.
They made it 5 points cheaper. So
Not
captain,
the
it's like
worst.
15 points. And you do get a beat stick character who has access to 5 up Feel No Pain for 1 CP, which is great because then you can, like my chaplain had 5 up Feel No Pain, which I paid for in list construction, a thing you can no longer do.
Yeah.
So you take a character, you take like 3 units of Death Company. You could even consider Death Company intercessors. They went down in points. And then Fury of the Lost is a great option for you. But I don't think you need to do it. Like, it's not like Blood Angels are looking for solutions to problems, because I don't think they have that many.
Yeah, Blood Angels are in a relatively good spot in the meta. They're definitely they've been the highest performing Space Marine chapter overall. Yes, Brad Chester, I am drinking your Diet Dr. Pepper that you left here. And you know what? I'm going to finish the whole pack. None of it's making it to Europe.
Oh, he thought some of it was coming with us?
No,
Please.
certainly will not. Won't even be alive by then.
Girl.
All right. So, yeah, we've seen Fury of the Lost. Like, we kind of theorize that that's what England's doing with their list. I think
Looks
it's
likely.
a nice tool to add as a non-Blood Angel player. It doesn't seem like it's something you have to game plan around. You know, like you don't have to include these tools in your list. A Blood Angel list without 4 Death Company units is totally fine.
Yes.
But it's a cool tool to have.
It is a cool tool to have. I think you want like 5 would make me very happy. Death Company units. So 3 Death Company, a Death Company character, and like a Death Company intercessor.
You just want Death Company intercessors to be troops.
So bad. So bad, John. So bad. But the main thing is one of those is not going to connect over the course of the game.
Sure.
Like you're going to be like, all right, so if each one kills a thing and then dies, that's all my points. But that's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
One or more of them is going to biff, or two of them are going to have to go in on the same turn or something. So I really want 5, but
even if it still gets you like, honestly, even if it gets you like a 10 or 11, I feel like it's a fine secondary.
yeah, I think it's pretty easy to get a 12 on it, which is not bad. That's pretty good.
Not bad at all. All right, dun dun dun. Going down the line from Borisa Thursk, with victory points being how the outcome of 40k games decided, is balancing the meta around faction secondaries like Nephilim has done too arbitrary of a tool for achieving balance? This is a multi-part question, so we're gonna answer that part first. No, this is basically the same thing. All right, in singles, matchup feels as though they're already decided purely because one army has vastly superior secondaries to the other, and player skill becomes much less of a factor in determining the victor. So I do think that the game is too revolving around faction secondaries right now, 100%.
Yes, me too.
It's mainly just that it shows how big the difference is when you can take multiple. When you can take one and you're like, oh, well, my Necrons have like an auto 15 and my Chaos Space Marines have an auto 7, very impressively. Then it's like, okay, the Necrons have like an 8-point theoretical start on points. And that's annoying, but that's not insurmountable. It's when the Necrons go first and they're like, all right, well, here's a 15 on secondaries, your turn. I'm like, oh boy.
Yeah, and he's not joking. I think they do get 14 a turn.
Yeah,
their secondaries.
I haven't seen 15. I've seen 14.
Yeah.
In turn 1, they go first, get a 14. I'm like,
it happens like every time too, which is the problem.
Yeah.
Because they get that pregame move, so they move on to every objective, and they just go 14 on secondary, and I'm set to get 12 on primary, and you're like,
yeah, oh boy.
Great.
And they're painted.
So now I have to table you and fast, or you're maxing points. Like, I played Necrons 3 times at ATC. Pretty much tabled them every time. One time I did table them. The other 2 times they had the Silent King bopping around. Well, I had little units everywhere. And you just couldn't stop them from scoring points. Their secondaries were too good. And I do think it's a little feast and famine. Like, the difference between Tyranids and Necrons in terms of secondaries is insane. And because the game comes down to VP, like, it's not quite as stark as I thought it was going to be, but it is still like, if you have good secondaries, you're a good army.
Nope.
And if you have bad secondaries,
you need to build an Alpha Strike.
Yeah, you need to just table your opponent by turn 2.
Yeah,
otherwise,
that's it.
Yeah.
Hey, Nurgomat in the chat. Nurgomat, we're wishing you well. Always appreciate your support. Thank you so much for being in the chat with us. It's the secondary disparity is too harsh, and I think the answer is to go back to 1 per, and then add like 5 more new unique game secondaries.
Yeah, they need...
Like, we don't need to put a teleport homers or whatever back in. Don't care about that. Just add a couple new things.
Yeah, I did feel like Stranglehold being good, I think, was good for the game because it forced people to play for objectives. It did emphasize like a tradey sort of game plan where you trade over the center objective turn after turn after turn.
Sure.
Which I don't 100% love. I don't like both armies camped out in the back and then one unit goes forward, one unit goes forward.
I think Stranglehold or To the Last needed to go. I don't think both did.
No, To the Last I think needed to go.
To the Last gone was for the best.
Yes, 100% for the best.
We all abused it.
Yes.
And it's gone, and it doesn't need to come back.
No, get out of here.
Yeah.
Stranglehold I think is fine. I think it's fine. Because right now you have somebody who can sit on like 30% of the board and score 97 points or something.
Yeah.
And that just shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
Like Necrons can sit on just 2 objectives all the way in the back, and I think scoring 100.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if they send out one Tomb Blade squad a turn for a couple turns.
Yep, they just go 1 Tomb Blade, 1 Tomb Blade, 1 Tomb Blade, 1 Tomb Blade.
Yeah, maybe a little pregame scare. There's always something happening. So in a final answer to that, yes, I think that they've leaned too hard into faction secondaries, and I really think that faction secondaries should. I really feel like. Honestly, what I would actually like to see faction secondaries toned down and be their own category. Like, I don't want faction secondaries to be a No Mercy, No Respite or whatever. I want faction secondary to be a category. Everyone gets to pick one at most.
Yeah, I would like that. Yep. And then they just add more generic. Because the generic secondaries right now are kind of bad. Mm-hmm. Like, everyone is shoehorned into the same 3, I think. It's like banners, no prisoners if your opponent gives it up.
And even if they don't.
And sometimes even if they don't. But, like, it's banners, warp ritual, and then hopefully faction secondary.
Yeah, you choose between no prisoners and assassinate. Engage is, like, terrible.
It is actually really bad.
Like Engage, I thought it would be good. Somehow that 6-inch limit made it awful.
Yeah.
It's gone. It's done.
The problem is your army needs to spread out and be useless in order to get it. And then you only get 2 points a turn if you do.
Yeah.
It's like, even armies that are great in Engage don't want to take Engage.
Yeah. 100%. All right. Let's, Lyle Dixon is coming in with a little bit of spice. Let's get some hot takes on both the ELO and voting-based top players in the world / country rankings that came out in the last few weeks.
Yep.
So if you haven't seen it, there was a Goonhammer article about it.
I don't think it's pronounced ELO. I think it's just ELO. Like I think
Is it really?
I think it's named after a guy who's named ELO, but I could be wrong.
I really thought ELO was an acronym. I am not sure. This is awkward. I've played a lot of chess. You'd think I would know this by now.
Yes.
I straight up don't though. Someone in the chat, tell us if it's ELO or ELO.
I definitely know it's pronounced ELO.
Okay.
Because I've followed too many.
I'm going to try to find both of them real quick to present to Jack because I doubt you have them memorized.
But, I know the player rankings pretty much. That's wargamerankings.com, I think.
Got it.
They definitely
wargamerankings.com. Oh. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. That one, they have good branding, right? If you want to know how you rank the war games, you go to War Game Rankings. That one I can remember.
Fair enough. So there's like all these different ranking systems have kind of been the hotness lately. I don't really know if there's a right one. Actually, I don't think that there is a right one so far. But like it seems like everyone's kind of unhappy with ITC rankings.
Yeah, so the thing about the ITC rankings is it measures who goes to the biggest tournaments. Mm-hmm. Like Richard is ranked something like
3,000.
Oh yeah,
I want to know what Richard is ranked right now.
He's gone to one event and it's ATC. He's got like a 210.
Yeah, he's probably not ranked very highly, and I would like to rub that in his face.
Yes. ITC is, especially like early in the year, people getting crazy about like a month into ITC. Ooh, the top 10 players. Yeah. It's like, no, there's just like people who went to an event.
We're 7 months in though now. Now
we are 7 months in.
Now it's actually interesting. A lot of players have 6 events.
I just got my 6th event.
Siegler. There's one Siegler in 4,178th place.
Yes.
However, I would be willing to gamble he is the highest ranked 1 of 6 player.
Probably. I mean, his one is, it's only ATC, which is only like a 2. It was only 210. Oh. Which isn't that.
He is not.
That big.
He is absolutely not the highest ranked. That means that someone showed up to one of the 7 LGTs and didn't go anywhere else. Got like 30th place.
Yeah.
Good for them.
Yeah.
Let's see. So yeah, confirmed via Wikipedia, it's ELO or ELO.
ELO.
Okay. All right. I honestly assumed ELO was an acronym that because I always see it in all caps.
Yeah, that is weird that you see it in all caps.
Like if it was ELO, E capital LO, I would just think, oh, ELO, but like I was like ELO. Right.
No, I got curious one day, and I'm like, I wonder what that stands for. And then I looked it up, and I was like, oh, it stands for RPAD ELO.
Fair enough. Grotworks Mech Shop needs to set up more tournaments. We always need more tournaments. Give those Goonhammer guys something to work on. So do we rank the rankings?
The ITC rankings they were good for what they were good for. Mm-hmm. It's hard to rank when like Siegs doesn't show up to an event this season because he's busy with writing his dissertation and doing things like that. That's hard. Also, he only shows up to super majors sometimes.
Sometimes
it's weird.
So I mean, like, I don't even know what the best ranking system would be. Yeah. I am personally in favor. I don't think that like ITC champion should be like ranked by like who has the highest rating overall. I think you should take the top 8 players going into LVO and they play a top 8 bracket.
I guess it's hard. So the various ranking systems, I don't know. People have problems with ELO. I'm not sure 100% why. I think it encourages.
It's because once you get on top, it encourages you not to play.
I think that's probably
like
it. I'm gonna keep going to events. I like going to events.
I do too, but I'll go under like a fake name. I'll go under a pseudonym. I'll be
Lon Jenin.
Yeah, Lon Jenin is gonna go get trashed at some RTT by whatever because I'm bringing my well painted knights. But like it's a weird thing where like if I'm number 1 in the world theoretically, the best thing in my interest is to not play against anyone who's not like even in the top 10.
That makes sense.
That's awkward because if I lose to Richard Siegler, whose ELA rating this season is absolute garbage. If I lose, I'm not changing. if I lose to Richard Siegler, everyone would look at that and be like, okay, a perfectly reasonable thing to happen. ELO would be like, John, you absolute scrub. You lost to 4,178. You dropped 30 places. It's like, whoa.
Yes. Oh, David, who is a member of the top 3 ITC, is in chat. Hey, bud. If we did that, Siegs wouldn't have won ITC because he was 5 out of 6 going into ITC, right?
Yeah. That is 100% correct.
But
he also probably would have found a 6th event.
Probably would have found a 6th event to go to.
Yeah,
he was planning to go and just win 6 events, and by God, did he do it?
Yeah,
I mean, he won 5.
He only won 5 of them.
He only won 5.
Scrub.
Scrubbo.
Indeed. So yeah, it's difficult to like say what the best ranking would be, but to me, I'm a big sports fan. I think like the ITC ranking is more similar to like poker or something like that. I feel like the best this is the champion method is a playoff. I like playoffs.
I get
and
it.
it's hard to make that fit in Warhammer though, because like what you're gonna like, you know, it's like, okay, well, we're gonna pull a top 8 and the cutoff is like January 14th, and then you have to show up in Las Vegas on February 1st. And it's like, oh, well, now flights are more expensive because the guy who was in 9th or 8th place, like maybe like, oh, well, I was in 9th place. I didn't think I needed a flight for this. And now flights are $1,000 and I'm not going to come. What do? You call the 10th place person? Then it becomes top 8 players who are rich or live in the United States.
Yes.
And that's not perfect.
There is no easy. I mean, that's what they did for the GW finals, basically.
Truth. But no one's saying, you know, the GW finals determines the winner or the champion.
It was just a fun weekend. Mm-hmm. Yeah. David says, personally, I like an average ELO rating of the field to determine at strength of the field in the current ITC system, adjusted to not reward events that just have mega amounts of players and have a podium bonus. Yeah, I mean, like, if you're not going to LVO, you basically don't exist as far as the ITC is concerned.
Yeah, 100%. And, well, LGT and LVO are now probably going to be the 2 premier events, which, on the one hand, all the Americans, myself included, are complaining, like, those British people get to go to bigger events than us. But I'm going to be honest, there was, like, a 7-year period where the British people were like, oh, all these Americans have all the big events, and we have to fly to Las Vegas if we want to contribute.
Yeah, I mean, every British player lives in each other's basement, and they just all play at, like, 700-person super majors every weekend.
There's one zip code in the UK. I can't be convinced otherwise.
Yep.
They're all down the street. Manny is in the same apartment complex as David and Stephen Box and everyone else in the UK. 100%. I don't know. It's like Rhode Island.
Yeah, and then they just, like... I don't know. I don't know how it works. I don't know how the British people do their thing. They all catch a lorry and they go down to the local pub and they play a 700-person super major.
Probably
every weekend.
Every weekend. Yeah, poker rankings are kind of silly as well. Yeah, I'm like 80% sure that the ITC rankings were originally modeled after poker rankings. I'm like 80% sure about that. Not 100. So someone knows, correct me. Got Reese in the chat.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, the UK is great. I really want to go sometime. I don't think we're going to make LGT this year, unfortunately.
It doesn't look likely.
It's on my bucket list. Basically, yeah. Unfortunately, it's like sandwiched in between majors. And there's a major the same weekend in driving distance. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah. I mean, ITC... We have Cannon in chat?
Cannon Biggs in the
Cannon
chat?
Biggs! Yeah, they did Cannon dirty in my game against him because they were like, here, Cannon, play GSC. Also, here, Jack, have 3 squads of infiltrators. And I'm like, okay, don't mind if I do. And then Cannon got to do nothing for the whole game.
Wow,
They really didn't know.
Really tactical.
They really did not know what that would do. And Cannon looked at my list and was like...
Can we not?
I was like, I don't know, buddy. I'm doing it.
Jerk.
Yeah, I am.
There is a level above rankings, which is winning majors and WTC. Rankings are just bragging rights in effect. Yeah, and I mean, let's see, taking home trophies is a more concrete way of doing that over fluctuating rankings. Yeah, it is a weird thing where you'll sometimes see players in the top 10 of the ITC who have not won an event. Yeah. And then you see players who do win one very large event, but otherwise don't win a lot of things, and they're not in the top 10. And, you know, it's like, who's better? Is it better to, like, get top 8 of almost every event you go to, but not win any of them? You know, because you can do that by just, you know, owning an AdMech, then a Drukhari, then a Tyranid army, right?
Yeah.
Maybe sprinkle some Harlequins in, too. Like, that just guarantees you top 8 at every event you go to.
Yeah.
If you just buy all of the armies and
If you buy all the armies and you are a good player, you can't be horrible. But if you're a good player and you do switch to the local, like the meta of choice, although right now
that's harder than normal.
Right now it is very hard to actually just take something brain dead.
Which I appreciate.
Yes, that is so nice. I hated having that meta circus, just like the meta carousel.
It's not ideal. But you see players who do well by doing that. Yeah. And again, if that's the way you choose to compete, absolutely nothing wrong with that. But it definitely puts a cramp on the guy who only owns Black Templars. So sorry.
Yes, it does. So the ITC ranking is there. I mean, you always have to filter it through the lens of like, it's biased towards large events, like very large events. If you come in 70th at, if you win a 70-person super major or 70-person super major, a 70-person GT, or you come in 50th at LVO, one of those is harder than the other one. Winning the GT is almost certainly harder. You're probably gonna have to go through a couple good players to get there. Whereas 50th at or 70th at like Adepticon or LVO, you can do without playing anybody. You can play nobody good and just find your way there.
It do be like that. Then there's the ELO rankings, which we haven't really talked about.
So much.
I'm so sorry. Which is put out by the stat check guys such as Anthony Finella, who conveniently ended up as number 1. I don't really understand. I'm going to be honest here. I don't really understand how some of this works. Like looking at the top 2, for example, Anthony Vanella is number 1 on the ELO rankings on statcheck.com/ELO. Let's see it. I'm just spelling it. And he has 37 wins and 6 losses. Whereas Manny is in second place as 46 wins, so 9 more wins, 3 fewer losses with only 3 losses. I would frankly assume that would be switched.
I assume that
it ranks the quality of the...
It does.
But then if Manny's, a lot of his games are against people who don't have as many tournaments, because he only goes to, the 700-person super major in a pub that's held every weekend in the UK. Right? That's where they are?
No, that is
That's 100% where they are. Maybe that is where Anthony Vanella just only plays against... I don't know who else lives up there. He played TJ Lanigan 43 times and went 37-6. I don't know who else lives near him. I don't really know. I'm all the way down at 14 with 5 fewer losses than the person ahead of me. That hurts. 21-2. That's not bad.
And I'm down at...
You are down, man.
I'm down at 23rd with 26 and 3.
I don't know. 26 and 3. You're like directly below the 26 and 5, Brad Chester.
I mean, I'm only 2 ELO points behind him. These are all very close ELOs.
Yeah, ELO does count who you play against.
I'm pretty sure ELO is designed for a higher game count than this.
That's what I'm assuming. And also it is a weird thing of like regions you play against who you play against. So,
I don't know. These rankings seem weird to me.
Yeah, I don't really understand ELO rankings. You're welcome. To the fullest. I don't understand the algorithm behind it. I'm conceptually aware of how ELO works. But I don't know. This one feels the worst.
This one, I mean, I look at these rankings, they're weird. But I know last year, I think I was number 3 or something, something like that in ELO for last year. But again, I think it's just too low game count.
Jason wants us to make an Art of War rankings like the College AP poll, which is vote on what they like the best. Don't worry, we're about to talk about the war game rankings in a second. The third ranking system is the war game rankings.
Yeah, it's wargame-rankings.com, which I'm assuming wargame rankings with no dash was taken.
Mm-hmm. It's the only thing that would make sense. So this is one that was literally a community poll. Now they did put this out with the caveat of this is initial thing and they want to get 50 people on the committee, whatever, of voters, and right now they've got 20 something.
They got 22, I believe.
And I think that the fact that it's so incomplete really shows. Aw, Bam Hunter with the super chat. Thank you so much, Brian. We really appreciate being in here. You're number 1 in my heart, Jack. Mine too, buddy.
Thanks, friend.
Let's see. Isn't the ELO chess formula, which I assume this is based on, public for like 50 years? Oh, Lloyd, I believe it is public. I definitely could go figure out the ELO system. I simply haven't.
I'm not going to.
And
like, I could go crunch the
unlikely
numbers.
to.
I could get a big blackboard, and a thing of chalk and just like work it out, but it's not happening.
Yeah. Jeremy Knox is saying that ELO doesn't count RTT events either. Oh, good to know. Yeah, I've been to 4 non-RTT events. I've been to 5 total, 1 RTT and 4 events.
Yeah, same here.
I wonder
I've been to 5
how
non-RTTs.
much quantity of games matters. You know what? I will, for those asking if there's rankings by committee, I will drop a Goonhammer article in the chat right now. Ba-doop, live chat. There you go. Oh, I wonder if we could do a screen capture, actually. That would be... We can do a screen.
Joe Manji, we had the discussion about that it's pronounced ELO, not ELO.
We did.
And then
yes.
John was like,
I won't let this stop me.
I will not let this stop me.
Absolutely not. All right, do we want to screen capture this?
Yeah, I mean, we got USA there. That's cool.
Yeah, we have a leftover USA logo from a recording we were just doing. But Shazam! All right, so this is the Goonhammer article here. I don't know how this turned into a ranking of rankings, but I'm fine with this being a tier list. So let's do it.
I mean, this is just like what we think of when we look at the different ranking systems.
Yeah.
Which is, it's hard because
it is.
Honestly, the ranking I value the most personally is like who I know to be good. Like if I played against you and I know that you're good, I mean, I'll be like, oh, that person's good, or oh, I played against that person. Nah.
I think everyone factors their own ranking the most, so fair. I do the same.
No. Mine is the best out of everyone's.
That is true.
Yes.
Yep. I agree, though. Mine is better than Jack's.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, everyone has their own internal ranking. So, no matter what the ranking is, if it doesn't match that, you're going to be like,
yeah. I appreciate that we've gotten multiple Electric Light Orchestra references in the chat. That makes me happy. I'm sorry, I put the chat where you can't see it. This one is interesting, and the more amusing part, although the ranked players, I'm not going to complain about because I am number 3, which, yeah, go me. Jack Harpster in 6. This literally is just Tom Ogden hanging out with Art of War.
Yes.
So, go Tom Ogden.
Go. I mean, to be fair, he is an amazing player.
He is. No, that is well earned. The more interesting part of this, I think, is actually the committee part. We were making fun of Nick a lot because of this. So you've got all these different regions is the idea, and they're each supposedly, because this is a ranking of the United States, North America. This is not a world ranking. So to our UK and European friends, we promise we were not excluding you on accident. We were doing it on purpose.
Nick was very much attempting to include you, actually.
Yes, Nick accidentally fought for you. So we're kind of laughing because this is very region-based, as it's designed to be, but supposedly with equal representation of each region. It will probably do better. I think it'll look better in my eyes when each region is equally stacked, because you've got Canada, 3 people, the U.S. East, good number. The Central is the most filled out. Makes sense. I know a lot of the Goonhammer guys happen to live in that part of the country. Mm-hmm. The South, only 1 person.
Well, I don't think this isn't a Goonhammer ranking.
This is not a Goonhammer ranking, but they were some of the contributors to it. And I believe that the gentleman who runs it, Bill, I'm like 51% sure that he lives in the Midwest.
Well, it's 50. It's either is or isn't.
51% sure. That's true. 50% chance. He either is or isn't. Then the poor U.S. South, who only has 1 person from New Jersey. And that's weird.
They, 1 East Coaster.
Yeah.
I hope we can make it 2 one day.
Yeah, one New Jersey guy is representing the entire U.S. South. And that feels a little weird, especially because let's just go ahead and make fun of him, shall we?
Yeah.
All right, because Nick did not know that this was a North America rankings.
No.
And so he put a bunch of European and Australian players on.
Fully half of his list did not count because it was all Europe and Australia.
Yeah. So love that. Just absolutely love that.
Steven is on is a contributing member to this. I guess I know where
Who's Steven?
Steven is a member of XPZ.
Oh, Zeno Petting Zoo.
Yeah,
okay.
And that explains where Joel Wilson's first place vote came from.
The
man believes in his boy, and to be fair,
as he should.
To be fair,
yeah, New Jersey South. No, Nick Nanavati is from New Jersey, but he lives in the South now.
Yep, same as me.
Same as us. Except I I mean, like, lives in the South.
Okay, lives in the South, same as you.
I was born in Florida. I live in Florida. I'm easy. So ranking systems. This one is, I think, intentionally the most just subjective.
Yes.
I think that's fine. I think you have to embrace this for what it is, which is a good content talking piece. And I think it will be fun to have, like, when this committee is filled out and it's a little less region biased. Because right now you see that players who live in these regions, because the U.S. East and U.S. Central have the most voters by far, a lot of players from the East and Central are represented here.
Yes, there's a lot of Midwest players on the top 20.
That makes sense. You know, people are going to vote for the people that they know. So beyond that, I think we should, before we move on from this question that we've somehow spent a lot of time on, yes, Hootie, I did. Here's a question. How are we going to rank the rankings? We got to do a 1 through 3. I did not like the ELO rankings, and maybe it's because I don't understand them, but I'm frankly not going to put the effort in to understand them. So for now, they're the lowest to me.
I think ELO makes sense if you have an opportunity to play people who are also on the ranking. I have not played anyone on this list.
Oh, really?
And I also have not had an opportunity to play anyone on this list.
There, let me see. I have played Vanilla. I have played Tyler. I've played... Oh, you played Joel Wilson.
Oh, I am one of his dubs.
Okay, I've beaten 3 people. I've played 3 people ahead of me.
At tournaments?
Them.
Tyler Bortel was on
that was Charity Hammer. It wasn't a tournament. And Vanilla was the Charity Hammer tournament, which did not get an ITC score.
See?
So I don't know if that counts. Okay, so neither of those counted. That's sad.
But
I have not played most of the people on this list in a tournament.
I've gone to tournaments with those people, just never played them.
Yeah, okay, good to know. Lyle Dixon with the controversial hot take. Thanks so much for that $5 super chat, Lyle. Who should not be on the rankings, and who would you replace them with?
No, that's not happening. Sorry,
Lyle,
bud.
that is a hot thing. That is a hot button that we will not be touching. The stove is too hot to place my hand on.
I will take your money, but I will not answer your question.
Kevin Hamilton says holy Tyranids. Oh, no, yeah, that's fair. Yeah, if you play Tyranids, your ELO goes up.
I hate you, John.
I love me, Jack.
ELO.
Was the list that Richard brought to ATC just a good general Necron list, or was it built for certain matchups? I think it was built for Richard Siegler's love of memes and named characters.
It was both. It is a good Necrons list.
I haven't seen a bad one yet. I mean,
it's hard. When they start out with a 44 on secondaries, 45 if they do anything.
Solid. So if I'm going to do a ranking, I'm going to rank ELO number 3, Community Spotlight number 2, and ITC number 1. And I don't like that, and I'm sad at myself that I did that.
There is no way I'm putting ITC at number 1.
Fair enough.
This ELO system, I think I'm going to put it number 3, even though I like ELO as a concept. I just, meh. Then I'm going to put ITC, and then I guess by default, that's the thing.
But like, I want to see like the regions filled out. Honestly, I can't. You know me. I'm very defensive about the South and Florida Warhammer. And so like the fact that the South got literally left out of the initial vote, and I know they're gonna fix it. I know, but right now, this means I cannot endorse it, and I'm unwilling to.
Yeah, because
completely unwilling to.
Also, he threw away half of his votes.
Also, because he didn't understand the assignment,
which does sound like a thing that Nick would do.
Indeed, it does.
Yeah. So the U.S. South got half a person.
Yeah,
and that means that you're gonna see a bunch of Midwesterners in there.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people in the South region who were not on that list who I feel would deserve a spot.
Yes.
All right, but I live in the South, so again, regional bias. Woo! All right, let's get out of the screen capture. We're back. Full screen.
What do we got next?
Well, one last thing we've got is another super chat from Lyle Dixon. He knew when he sent it that we weren't going to answer that question. But it's a fun thing to think about because we all had a thought in our head and we're like, we're going to be polite.
Yeah, I mean,
everybody... We probably weren't thinking the same person, honestly.
No, everybody looks at the list and is like, that person? But that person is different for everybody.
Aesthetics Deluxe. Yes, 100%. This article does remind me as well of college football rankings. It is completely biased, and if you read it, you may get mad about it. And let me be clear. I love college football. The rankings for college football are terrible, and I tune in the second they go live every week.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're awful, and I just want to read them.
There are, at least for 40K, there is no objective, delivered from on high list.
Indeed, there is not.
Top players in perfect order.
No, there totally is. It's Mike Brandt. Number 1, delivered from GW.
Mike, I did not endorse this.
I hope Mike watches this, honestly.
But yeah, there's no perfect ranking. So I think if they're all flawed in some reason, might as well make it subjective.
Yeah. It's if it's not going to be perfect, don't try.
Yeah.
Yeah, screw it. Lean into it. Make it fun. Lyle Dixon with a $5 super chat. Also, Jack had a chance to play Tom at ATC because Tom is Tom and would have played literally anyone who challenged him.
That is true.
True, but Brad challenged him.
Brad challenged him.
Only because we peer pressured him into it.
Yes. We were like, hey, what do you want to take? And
Brad was like, I'd really rather not play Tom because I play him
and we're like, all right.
On Tuesday. And I'm like, oh, okay, so you want Tom? Here you go.
Yeah, like, noted. Anyway, we're taking Tao for Brad. That was basically how that conversation went.
How that went.
Also, geez, can you imagine running my Blood Angels into Tau? I just get shredded.
Yeah, I can imagine. It'd be funny as hell.
Yeah, I've tested it.
Yeah, it'd be great. All right, let's keep going through some of these questions. Somebody should rank the ranking systems. Ambush, done.
Tier list
Mike
for tier
Walsh,
list?
Tier list for tier list, done. All right. Back on topic.
Move on.
Ronnie, is there any Imperial Knight list viable with 5 armigers only? The points seem very awkward, lol.
I don't think so.
5
I think
is such a weird number. Like, I can think of 4, I can think of like 6, but the way points work out, I cannot imagine 5.
Yeah, 4 and 3 big knights, 6 or 7 and 2, and then like 9 or 10 and 1 big knight are all the break points I see.
Also, real question: how did you get your hand on a 5th? They're sold in packs of 2. I mean, I know how you trade a buddy, found it on eBay, but like, go get a box, get yourself up to 7. 7 and 2 big knights. That's good.
That's solid.
That's a good list.
That is solid.
It's mainly that if you're gonna have 5, you can still only fit 2 big knights, but then you've got like 200 summoning points, and that doesn't help in Imperial Knights.
No, you're not summoning anything.
You're
It'd be cool if you could summon Celestine.
Brother.
I mean, like, she's basically like a demon.
Basically, summon Ephriel Stern and go rampage through people. Maybe you could do something with like a Castellan and a big knight, and
dude, I hate the Castellan.
Yeah, I know. I'm just thinking like, how would the legally fit points? I don't know.
Oh, off-topic question.
Ooh, Julio with the off-topic question. Any thoughts on USC and UCLA joining the Big Ten? Garbage. Shouldn't have done it. I hate it. So to be clear, the Big Ten, Jack, you don't understand what's happening, right? Okay. So anyways, I think that you should, I think that college football needs to stay more regional. I'm also mad about Texas and Oklahoma joining the SEC. That's stupid too.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah, it's
you were asking me and it just caught up.
Lloyd Parker says easy Inquisitor in, right? Just auxiliary in as many Inquisitors as you want.
Throw in Inquisitor Karamazov. You must take as many points as possible.
Take the Vanguard of Inquisitors with 3 henchman units.
Oh my god, yes. 3 Jacaro weaponsmiths.
Woohoo!
Firing their finger lasers.
Here's a question from Turk Smash. Will GW backpedal on the 2-inch engagement range change, or will there be tournament organizers giving in to using it even with the jank enables? Okay, so my personal take on it. And again, let me just be very clear. We are not playtesters. We do not know. People keep assuming that.
People think that we do.
Keep thinking that we do, and I assure you,
not.
We do not. Because if we were, we would not tell you.
Yeah, if we were playtesters, you think we would have let this go through?
Absolutely not. Yeah, right. This is how you know we're not playtesters. We just said, this is stupid. Don't do it.
If they ran the CP changes by us, we would have been like, hey, that's unfun.
Yeah. They are going to walk back the 2-inch thing. This is a prediction. This is also a statement. It is terrible.
Yeah.
It is a bad rule. It is poorly written. It is unfun. And that's okay. Warhammer is still a great game. But this little rule, bad.
It's not good.
All bad.
It is. It does not actually solve the problem that they're trying to solve.
Not even close.
No.
I love how I can still block out Abaddon. Screw that guy. Yeah,
so if you were looking at our game from yesterday, which you should, it's on YouTube or whatever. It's Chaos Space Marines or Salamander. It's very fun.
Yep.
If you're looking at our game from yesterday, the 2-inch engagement range rule came up constantly for no reason at all. Just sticking its nose in places. It never came up for the reason that GW wanted it to come up.
No, and the problem was I kept forgetting that it existed.
Yeah,
I wasn't even looking for it. And Jack's like, I don't know, you're within 1.5 inches. I'm like, yeah, why does that matter, scrub? And he's like, because it's 2 inches. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Got it.
Or all of a sudden, You could engage me through a wall because all of a sudden, boing, 2 inches, or like I couldn't move to where I wanted to be, or you charged me and you were like, all right, so the closest possible path is just barely nicking this terrain. So all of a sudden that's a 4. I'm like, so stupid.
The only way around it is to either embrace it entirely, which I assume GW events are going to do, and that's frankly going to be the worst part of it. Or do the FLG approach where you slap on 3 FAQs on top of the FAQ, and then someone doesn't understand, and you get a feels bad moment on stream, which is exactly what happened to Lone Star.
Yes.
And it's like, whose fault is that? Is it anyone's fault? I don't know. I wasn't there, but like, oof.
This change just does not feel well thought out, and it does not feel play tested.
It doesn't. No, it does not feel like anyone put it on the table and was like, hey, this is the FAQ we're thinking. Let's play it in 5 games and see what happens.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Because it does not solve the problem it's looking to solve. You can still block out some charges, not all of them, some of them now. I think if your opponent has, or if the walls are thick, you can block out all charges, same as before.
Yeah, and like if like a big 3D printed wall, you're just like, cool, this didn't change anything.
Yep, because, all right, 2-inch engagement, you can't get me from the other side of the wall, and you can't land your base because the wall is thick. So I'm still going to block you out same as before. We're cool there, right? Or you have larger bases, like 50 mils can still get blocked out exactly the same way because they're too big to fit, and then you can be 2 inches back. So it does not solve the problem that they were looking to solve, and it causes a massive amount of downstream complications for literally no reason whatsoever. I do think they will walk it back because it's just a bad look when tournaments are just being like, hey, everybody, do you want us to not do this? And everyone's like, please don't do this.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen. So we've been hyper team focused. Let's put a caveat on this, which means the 2 events that we have most recently gone to / planned to are WTC and ATC. And that's where we've been focusing. And both of those were just like, you know this rule?
There was nobody who
and not
cried
a single
for it.
person was like, I don't know, I think we should do it. Not a single person.
Yeah. It is like they wanted to use the WTC rule, but wanted to be different. And the Art of War fix for it is very simple. Well, you remove the 2-inch thing. It never existed. Yep. Oops. It's like the freebooters nerf. What are you talking about? We never nerfed freebooters.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very simple. You remove the 2-inch rule entirely.
Yep.
And you just do what WTC did, which is say, if you would make the charge, but you can't place it because of terrain, just move as close as possible, count as making the charge. You know, for all intents and purposes, measure your model as though it's in the wall, but your model just isn't in the wall. Just say, you know that scenario that happens where you get blocked out? Yeah, that doesn't happen. And that's all you need to do.
Yeah, so... Yep, basically that. All right, bunch of 2-inch rules. Benjamin Lillenfield with the question in the Discord. Would you all be in favor of a full reset to indexes for 10th edition, like the rumors indicate? So it really depends on how extreme the 9th to 10th edition switches.
And again, cannot emphasize enough, we do not know. This is not us sending signals. This is not us revealing stuff.
I'm sending.
We do not know anything about this. We've not heard anything about this. I do not know.
No, I don't want indexes.
I don't want indexes.
7th to 8th edition was necessary because of how much the game changed from 7th to 8th. That was a good and necessary change. 7th edition needed to be scrapped and thrown into a fire. 9th edition is not perfect, but it does not need to be drastically overhauled in my mind in 10th edition. Frankly, it already feels like we're in 9.5. I would not even be mad if 10th edition was all of the changes that have been made so far, put them in the main rulebook, make a next set of tweets that are roughly Nephilim sized, call that good, add an FAQ for every faction. I don't want indexes for 10th because crazy things happen when they do indexes. 2, the army disparity is insane when you have codexes versus indexes. It's one thing when you're like, yeah, well, you know, Necrons just have better secondaries than Guard, and Tyranids have better stratagems than Guard. It's a different thing when it's Space Marines have stratagems and you get a CP reroll.
Yes.
Like, no.
Index 8th edition sucked. It sucked so bad. If you weren't Guard or Harlequins, or if you weren't Guard or Inari, don't show up, first off.
And the first, 3 or 4 months, as people started to get codexes, when you were playing an index and people were like, oh, I'm going to use a stratagem to do mortal wounds to you, and you're like, I'll CP reroll my 6-up feel no pain. Because that's all I have. No.
Yeah, No, I'm in favor of keeping codexes.
Yeah.
Or if they want to put out they want to put out all the codexes at once, which they will never do in a million years. But if they wanted to do that, that would be amazing. But they won't. The problem is if you go to indexes, it's starting that cycle of remember we were waiting for everyone to get their 9th edition codex.
Yep.
It just starts that cycle all over again.
But it's even harsher.
But it's even harsher.
The difference between a 9th edition book and an 8th edition book is not as big as the gap between an 8th edition book and an 8th edition index. It's not
not even close. If you were an index, you couldn't compete unless you were forever, unless you were Inari or Guard.
Yeah, and an index could be like a mini book.
Yeah, it could.
So
be.
What if an index was a page with the traits for your sub factions, but not faction specific like strats and warlord traits and relics. 1 page of relics, 1 page of warlord traits, 1 page of stratagems, and your data sheets. You could half it, and that would be better because the closer to the way codex we are, the better. But I still don't like the idea of indexes.
Yeah, I mean the main thing is if they fundamentally change the stats of 40K,
it'll be necessary.
Then it's necessary to do. And then there's if they release more than an index for people, what's the functional difference between that and just releasing every codex at once? The problem is if you release people without their rules, it's just which data sheets are the most efficient. It's a math problem.
Yep.
It's not the kind of constellation of rules and other sorts of things that influence how good units are.
Yeah.
It's just, this one has a 5 in that category, and that one has a 6.
Yeah, exactly. And also, it is finally the thing of poor Guard who are looking to be the last codex of the initial run. We just wow. If they scrap the Guard codex, because all right, end of 7th edition, the last book was Genestealer Cult. I bought my Genestealer Cult codex. I played with it for 2 months. They announced an 8th edition where my codex would not be legal, and I'm like, oh, cool. This is fun.
Yeah.
That was a feel bad.
Yep.
So I hope they don't. I also frankly hope that we have 9th edition for a while. Genuinely, I think that the seasons with balance patches is a good approach, and I think that could keep 9th edition fresh for a while. So my personal wish list would be that, because the rumors are next summer, summer 23. My personal wish list, summers. They do love. I don't know when 10th edition comes out, but when it happens, I hope it's in the summer because that's when it always is, and then I get to be proven right. But I honestly hope it's summer of 24. We can have almost 2 more years of seasons, indexes, patches, and see how it goes. I think we could get another 2 years out of 9th edition easily, and we start putting out campaign supplements and a new Space Marine Codex, and we all get to laugh about it, but fine. Honestly, I wouldn't even be mad. And we go for that.
Yeah. So first off, we got Jacob Majeres in here. $5 super chat. When collecting army, how many is too much? I have 3 armies.
All up to you.
If 3 is too many, we are in trouble because we each play more than that. It's as many as you feel like you want to either collect, as many as you want to own, or as many as you want to play. There's no value judgment to having more armies. It's as many as you want to have.
Yeah, because it all has to be hinged on your enjoyment of the hobby.
Yeah.
And if you have 3 armies and you'll play one of them for a couple of months and have fun, and then you get bored and then you switch armies and you kind of do that for cycles and you're just having fun, that's good. If you have 3 armies and one of them is an old poorly painted Assault on Black Reach Space Marine kit that hasn't been touched in 4 years, maybe you want to get rid of it. That's fine too. Maybe you hold on to it till the next Space Marine Codex. It's all about your situation. There is no cap on this is too many armies though. Obviously, we are extreme examples of the owning army question because of streaming and our job.
Yes,
we're lucky. But there's nothing. I know so many people who are just I am a Tyranid player and I am satisfied with that.
Yeah, there are people who are that way. My brain is not wired like that.
No,
but other people's are, and it's just what makes you happy.
I mean, Jack, you only have 1 army. You just have 1/8 of 8 different armies. Oh, Oh, too
No.
Jack.
Listen,
No,
all right, I
you
fully
do
painted up. I do actually have several armies.
Yeah.
But I fully painted up my Black Templars to take it to LVTT last year.
And it looked good.
And looked good.
Yep.
I was very happy with it. I fully painted
Didn't
up
have
to
to
2K.
borrow a single one of my models.
Didn't borrow. It was all mine, which is an achievement for me. Because I love painting single models really well, and then I lose the enjoyment of painting an army.
Totally.
But I did the whole thing, and then they came out with the Black Templar supplement. I was super hyped, and none of the models I took to the LVTT were any good in Black Templars. And in fact, the army played completely differently, and I was like, I don't like this anymore.
Yep. Let's see. Going down, are there any changes that we would make to the Nephilim tier list after a few weeks in?
Yes.
I genuinely don't. I think Necrons are better than Sisters.
Yes. Yeah.
Not by a margin, not by a large margin, but I would put Necrons as number one. I think Tyranids were put a little bit. I wasn't in the first tier list.
Here, you can pull up and just go to like a screen cap of the last bit, and I can, because my opinions have evolved because it was like a week into the
of course.
meta.
The whole point is to do a hot take.
Yeah, it was a hot take, and my opinions have evolved. A lot of it was on point, I think, but some of it wasn't. So it's tier list. There you go. I'm probably gonna have to go to the screen cap.
Yeah, 1 month ago. Here we go. Da-da-da-da.
We gotta sit through a YouTube ad.
Man, caught by our own ads.
Aha, that's how we get them.
All right, let's.
I mean,
Is this the final?
That's it. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. So just so people can see it, let's see if we can maneuver this into place, and we can then rank our own tier list. Wow, this is meta.
This has been the meta-ist hot players debate hot topic.
Absolutely. Dun dun dun. A nice frozen screen cap of Richard and Jack. Here we go. Let me see. Okay, so I remember saying this at the time. Y'all put Chaos Knights way too low.
Oh, all the way down B? Yeah. I
you
get
have
it.
White Scars above Chaos Knights, and that is complete and utter madness.
It's true.
Complete and utter madness.
No, that is definitely.
Let's see. Ooh, Lyle Dixon with a $5 super chat. Hot take. What 40k opinion do Jack and John know they will argue about the most? Processing.
40k opinion?
Presumably. Screenshot put into paint and draw over it. Lloyd Park is a genius. We're going to do that.
Get the snipping tool out.
Snipping tool. We are going to draw all over this. This is going to be fun.
Yeah, I'm going to... So, since this is my tier list, let me go first.
Go ahead.
And then Because I won't make as many changes, I assume, as you would.
Probably not.
And then I'll go first, and then you can tell me what your...
Wow, this is high tech right here.
Oh, yeah, you get to see this real time. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
Da, 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 da.
Look, it looks exactly the same. You can't
It does, but I can draw on it now.
All right, give me that.
All right. Oh, you want the mouse?
Give me the mouse.
Okay.
I'm going to draw in red.
All right.
Is this the pencil?
Yeah, that looks right. Do a little test squiggle.
Woo!
All right, we're seeing it live, folks.
All right. Brushes. We're going to go with that brush. Ooh.
All right. What are you thinking here?
Oh, that's so cool. All right, so I can do up and down.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that owns. All right. So, Sisters, I think, would go down in this.
Yeah.
They are really good. They're not S tier.
No, top of A tier feels fine.
Yeah, they're top.
They're an upper A tier for sure.
They are top of A tier. Necrons being top of A tier is good. I don't think they go to S. I don't think there is an S tier army right now.
You know, I have to say this. I'm so sorry. Before the tier list, I made a joke like, honestly, guys, have we considered not putting an army in S tier? And you were like, oh, John, a Sisters player.
Yes, because you did the same thing.
And now here we are.
I have to go in green because it's red. You did the same thing, but for Tyranids when they came out.
No, I did not. I didn't. At no point.
You were like, I think they just need a light touch.
That is not.
I know it's not.
Jack is lying, and he knows it.
Yeah.
Matto with a $5 super chat. How do you all change faction secondaries in general? They seem to be the biggest factor in army strength right now. Make them 1 per. Just straight up. Immediately right now, make them 1 per until we can get them more equally balanced. Because they're not balanced for what they want right now.
Yeah. Let's go sideways. Yeah. That goes down in B.
Y'all are crazy.
That goes down in B.
Yep.
you can't see where my cursor is, but the Dark Eldar probably stays the same.
Yeah, honestly.
Thousand Suns probably stays the same. I mean, maybe it goes up a little.
Thousand Suns up a little bit.
Up like that much. Like just such a small amount.
Yeah. I think that's not shown at all.
Okay. Whatever. In that case, no, they don't go up at all.
All right.
Yeah.
They're
not bad.
Harlequins need to go up. Tau need to go up.
Yeah, Tower going
Craft
up.
World needs to go down. Chaos Space Marine probably shifts a little bit, but I think is still A.
Chaos Space Marines for sure shift a little bit. What else went up?
I feel like Harlequins and Tyranids are ranked too low.
Harlequins are ranked
exactly.
down here. Tyranids are ranked a little too low. Can you guys see that? No, they can't see it.
Yep.
There's no way. We're gonna go blue. Blue's the wrong color. We're just gonna go all red. Screw it. Tau go up because they're still kind of busted. It's weird.
Yep.
All of that. They go to the left. Chaos Space Marines are gonna come down a little.
Yeah, just a little bit. I think that they're still ahead of. I would still put them ahead of Custodes, possibly ahead of Imperial Knights, but like in a very similar tier to Imperial Knights, I think.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with ranking these like a lot of A and B tier armies.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
How do you feel about Blood Angels?
Blood Angels, I do think go in a this-wordly direction.
Yeah, they're staying in A for me.
They're definitely not top 3 army. They're
No.
staying in A.
I would probably put them as like a top. They're in the 5 or 6 category.
Yeah,
They're below Tau in my mind.
Yeah, they're moving down the rankings for sure. Mm-hmm. But they're staying. I mean, like they're better than Imperial Knights. I think probably they're better than AdMech.
Yeah,
AdMech's still good. I think Richard's build is pretty hot.
Yeah, I don't think AdMech needs to move.
Yeah.
But also like AdMech is hard to play and they don't have a ton of options and they have some matchups where they're just like, oops, you die.
Yeah.
So
I mean, honestly, we could divide this into A, B, and C where all 3 can compete.
yeah.
And I mean, where C isn't like, I think C and D both are looked at as garbage tier here.
Yeah.
I think like all of these can go down.
Woof.
And then
Woof.
all of these can go down, basically.
Yeah, honestly.
And then that's probably a better variation where there's like 3.
Because like I don't like I don't like Dark Angels and Space Wolves being in the same tier as
Dark Angels actually can go up.
Dark Angels are not bad, yeah.
Yeah, I'll put this is going to be very confusing, but if you've listened to me this far, you know what I'm doing. They're not going up a whole tier. They're going sideways.
Yeah, they're going sideways. They're not.
They're getting they're getting left behind by the re-tiering. Yeah. And that's probably what I would do.
Yeah, I think I don't know, the Space Marine chapters, Space Wolves are the one that impressed me the least of that list. All of those other ones are like, yeah, they have some play. Like Black Templars have some problems, but they still have some play.
I mean, I could certainly see like that doesn't do what I want it to. Mm-hmm. I could definitely see like the re-tiering looking like Space Wolves go down, Death Guard go down.
Those all kind of stay flat.
Iron Hands and Death Watch probably. I don't know. I feel like in the re-tiering they end up in
yeah. I still think Iron Hands are good. Not great.
No, they're fine.
Yeah.
But I think if all of the C tier drops to D tier,
mm-hmm.
and then all of this drops down to C tier, I think that's more accurate representation of where the meta's at.
Yeah. Grey Knights, I think, stay roughly where they are in the rankings. They're not bad. I don't think they're great.
No, they're fine. They score secondaries all right, but they don't have a lot of damage.
Yeah.
That's my changes. And we can save
Yeah, I wouldn't really do much else with that, honestly.
Yeah.
Let's get back to us.
So you agree with that?
Yeah, I really wouldn't. I wouldn't change much of that at all.
Okay.
And
I would put Necrons as the best army in the game right now.
Yes.
But they are vulnerable to certain. Well, I don't know if they're the best army in the game because they're very polarizing. Like they definitely have some things that they just lose to.
Necrons.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's their points floor. I think that kills me.
Yeah, they start so far ahead of you. Mm-hmm. And, you know, it's like that.
I can't find a metric. Like I agree, Necrons have problems, and they could just be top of A instead of S, and there's no S. But the problem is that I can't think of a metric other than like I don't know, I can kill that makes Necrons not the top because Necrons are winning the most at events, have a high win rate, have the highest average score, I'm like, how do I rank them as anything but?
No, they're the best. They're the best army.
Yeah.
They just start so far ahead of you. It's not that their army's better. It's just that they start with like 30 points on secondaries and primaries.
Absolutely.
And you're just like, what?
Yeah, it's like I'm golfing against Tiger Woods, except I've got like a 30 handicap. I would still lose, that to be clear.
But it's just
like the handicap is just a little too big. You're like, oh, okay.
It does feel like a handicap. It feels like they've been spotted a bunch of points.
It's exactly what it is.
At the start of the game.
Am I still leaning towards Custodes Dreads or Bikes? Coffee, 100% Custodes Dreads. There's a one pre-recorded Custodes game that's going to be going up next week. I expect to see a lot more Custodes content when we get back from WTC, and that's because the army is 100% painted in a cohesive scheme.
Hey!
I say that, it's actually 90% painted in a cohesive scheme, and the 10% is primed in a cohesive scheme. But it'll be painted by the time I leave on Sunday.
And the reason, the way you can know that we're leaning towards Custodes Dreads is that Team America is taking Custodes
6 Dreads.
2 WTC, Woo! 6 Dreads, 3 Caladius, and some other nonsense.
And other nonsense.
And other assorted nonsense.
All right.
Very proud of that list.
One last question from Benjamin Lillenfield. When can we expect the Art of War approved data slate? Honestly, when we're back from WTC, we should make a data slate.
We need to put fake in like big letters across it because otherwise people will.
Yeah, we need to make like the Art of War approved data sheet with like a big red unofficial document stamped straight on the center. So
not like off to the corner.
No,
straight. And that gets cut off on like your
straight in the
thumbnails. Needs to be like straight over the thing.
Yep.
Needs to be on a watermark like in the background.
Yeah. No, we should do that though. Benjamin, soon, but definitely soon means not in 2 weeks because we're gonna be gone in Europe for a while.
Yes.
When we're back, I do genuinely want to do that. I think that'd be super fun to do. All right. Well, I think that about wraps us up for today. So
looks like it.
Thank you so much, everyone, for your support and for tuning in. As always, we really appreciate that. So if you guys enjoyed this content, make sure you hit like, share, subscribe, etc. And you can always get a lot more of our content in the War Room. That's on our website, theartofwar40k.com, or just right below, become a member of our YouTube channel. That's where we put all of our awesome War Room content. The War Room is where a lot of high-level players like myself, Jack, Nick Notavati, Richard Siegler, and many, many more coach you on how to get better at Warhammer 40k. And you can become a part of our awesome global community. It's friendly, it's welcoming, and we have our own Discord that's very active, full of like-minded 40k players who just want to get better at the game. So thank you so much for watching, everyone. We'll catch you next time.
Bye-bye.